It's hot cocoa weather, and Christmas music can be heard throughout all the rooms of our home. I'm baking cookies almost daily, which makes my festive heart extremely happy. The smell of fresh baked cookies wafting through the walls is pure serotonin to me. I've been enjoying doing so many different things this Christmas season to be fully immersed in this magical time of year. I'm constantly rewatching my favorite old classic Christmas films like White Christmas and It's a Wonderful Life. There's snow on the ground and the smell of pine trees in the air. So today I want to share with you some of my favorite Christmas movies, books, activities, cookie recipes, and more so that we can all get into the festive Christmas spirit together. Books are huge for me when it comes to immersing myself in a season or a holiday. I love reading during Christmas so much, which leads me to the sponsor of today's video, which is Book of the Month. You all know I am the biggest Book of the Month fangirl, so I am thrilled to be working with them again. Book of the Month is a super popular and fast-growing online book subscription service for any kind of reader. Their mission is to promote new and emerging authors to help readers discover books that they'll love. Every month, their team vets hundreds and hundreds of books to give readers their choice from a curated selection of new and early release titles so that you can spend more time reading and less time researching what book to read next. I love that I can get early release titles before anybody else. It's honestly one of my favorite things about Book of the Month, being able to read and finish a book before it even hits the shelves at a bookstore. I love it. Book of the Month is also completely risk-free, so you can skip any month at any time and you will not be charged. This allows you to truly only ever get the books that you really want to read. And you just can't beat their price for these beautiful hardcover books. This month, they're actually having an amazing deal running, so you can get your first book for only $5 with the code WONDER. I was super excited for the choices this month, so first I picked up Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Crocham. Cozy up with this delightful holiday tale as old as time. Boy meets girl, girl meets boy's sister, and falls in love. And then my second choice was The Circus Train by Amita Parikh. All the world's a stage in this moving World War II story about a traveling circus and finding your path in dark times. I cannot recommend Book of the Month enough. Again, if you use the code WONDER, you can get your first book for only $5 during the month of December. Now, let's continue on to the rest of the video. Before I share the recommendations with you, we just got a beautiful fresh snowfall, so I think we must make some hot cocoa, get bundled up, and go outside and enjoy it together. Feels so good. It's cold, but it actually feels warm at the same time. It's like I'm existing in my own ambiance video that you watch to help yourself relax while you read or something. Like, I'm in it right now and I feel so good. Oh my gosh, I'm in my own winter wonderland. This is so beautiful. There's a bridge. Did you see that? Think I can go over that one? I'm just scooting along. Ah! Wow. I feel like a hobbit, just chilling out here. Swinging my legs over the river. Wow, the snow today is fantasy snow, the kind that you see in Lord of the Rings and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I want to give you some recommendations that can help get you in the spirit for Christmas. Some books, movies, TV shows, cookie recipes, activities that can maybe help add a little bit of Christmas magic to your life. I'm the type of person where during a holiday, unless I do activities, watch movies, read books, immerse myself in the spirit and atmosphere of that holiday, then I feel like I don't fully experience it the way that I want to, or as deeply as I want to. So I hope that this can be a little guide for you if you are looking to add a little bit of extra Christmas spirit to your life. Christmas books are one of my favorite things. They are so festive. You can be transported to Scotland to celebrate Christmas, or Aspen, Colorado, and they're so atmospheric and vibrant, and that's exactly the books that I want to recommend today. The first one is, and I've talked about this one before if you've been around my channel since last year, this is The Christmas Chronicles by Nigel Slater. If you want all things Christmassy, to me this is like a Christmas Bible. It has recipes, activity recommendations, Christmas markets that the author has been to, memories from his childhood growing up playing in the snow. There are chapters on carols and figgy pudding. I think there's even a chapter called Coming In from the Snow or Coming In from the Cold, all about the feeling of curling up by the fireplace and the way it feels so good to warm up after being cold. It's not a recipe book, it's not a how-to book, it's not a memoir, but at the same time it is all of those things. And I highly, highly recommend it. Okay, next, this is a book that, say you want to spend your evening like Jane Austen or the March Sisters, cuddle up with some warm cider and a blanket and read from Charles Dickens or Ella Montgomery, and you just want to read a short story. You don't want to fully immerse yourselves in an entire novel. That is what this book is. This is A Vintage Christmas, a collection of classic stories and poems from authors like Louisa May Alcott, Charles Dickens, Ella Montgomery, Mark Twain, and more. There's something about the classics as well, and if you're a lover of anything vintage, it doesn't have lit up snowmen and Christmas shopping and Christmas lights the way we do it now. It's a little glimpse into the past. Warm gingerbread, the food, because food was such a thing at Christmas back then. Like it still is now, but it's just not quite the same. It was about getting together with loved ones and celebrating in just a different way than we do now. So if you'd like to step back into the past for Christmas, I highly recommend A Vintage Christmas. This one is a new favorite Christmas book for me. This was so good. It's a contemporary romance that reads a lot like an Emily Henry book. It's set partially in Chicago and Dublin, Ireland, and then also kind of like the countryside in Ireland. It's a romantic comedy, and it is called Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh. I saw Liv from Liv's Library raving about this, and I knew I had to pick it up. It takes place over multiple years. It's about these two friends who only see each other every year when they fly to Ireland for Christmas. They both live in Chicago, but they never really interact with each other except on whatever day it is that they fly out to Ireland together, and they spend the whole plane ride catching up, laughing. It's so funny. I laughed out loud so many times. And when they're in Ireland, the vibes, the Christmas aesthetic, guys, it's so beautiful, so good. So if you're looking for a contemporary romance that is just really sweet, this is also a clean romance. Pretty sure it's closed door if I remember correctly. It was 5 stars for me. highly recommend it. If you like the Nutcracker, specifically the Nutcracker Ballet, all of the music, I think you would really like The Enchanted Sonata by Heather Dixon Walwork. I can't fully recommend this because I'm only on page 189, so I'm about halfway through. But this is such a beautiful Nutcracker retelling. It's about Clara, whose whole world revolves around music, specifically the piano. She's worked really hard to get to where she is, and her dream is to be an exceptional pianist. But on Christmas Eve, she receives a mysterious nutcracker, and it seems to transport her to another world. This world of enchanted empires, of beautiful palaces, fairies, and enormous rats, and of course, a prince. And while she's there, she must face this musician who uses music as magic. And I think she finds a way to use her own music as magic as well. Like I said, if you like the Nutcracker and that aesthetic, I think you would really, really enjoy this one. I've read a lot of Nutcracker retellings, and this one is my favorite so far. If you are a cozy mystery person, I think you would really like this one. This is The Mystery of Mistletoe Hall, a 1920s mystery by Benedict Brown. So it's set in England in 1925. It's about 8 strangers who get trapped at a deserted manor, Mistletoe Hall. It's beautifully snowing outside, but the body count is rising because people are getting murdered. But at the same time, they're still worried about decorating the tree and getting everything set up for Christmas. It's kind of like a little bit more of a comical version of And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, but different. The ending is different. Read this book for the vibes. Fully just the vibes. The writing about food, about mistletoe, about going out and cutting down a tree, about all of the festivities that happen. And especially if you're from America, I love reading about how it's celebrated in Great Britain, how different it was, especially in the 1920s. Oh, it's just so lush and beautiful. The murder and the mystery was fun, but I really enjoyed this book for the atmospheric, festive writing. It is very cozy, and yeah, I highly recommend it. Moving on to Christmas movies. These are feel-good, cozy, very, very festive films that I like to rewatch every year. Actually, the first one is a new one that I just recently watched. It could possibly be your new favorite Christmas movie, and it's called Something from Tiffany's. If you're a fan of the Netflix Christmas films, Hallmark movies, but you want something slightly less cheesy, but still really heartwarming and sweet with such a happy ending, I think you would love this movie. It's about 2 strangers. They're both in relationships, and the men in those relationships both go to Tiffany's on the same day. One is looking for a pair of earrings to give to his girlfriend, and one is looking for an engagement ring. And on their way out, they get mixed up and their bags get swapped. So one guy goes to give his girlfriend the gift and it's a ring, but he meant to give her earrings. So you can see how that would be an awkward situation. And the other one meant to propose and she opens it and it's earrings. So they need to find each other so that they can swap and the guy can get engaged. I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to spoil it. It's set in New York City. So if you like New York City Christmas, the main character is a baker and she has a stall set up at a market, and it's just, there's so much bread. And I don't know, I love baking and bread, and I find it so cozy and festive. I really hope you watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. A movie to watch with the whole family that is kind of in the realm of Home Alone, but it's a bit more comedic, a bit more lighthearted. It stars Julie Andrews, set at a Plaza Hotel in New York during Christmas time. Then you definitely need to watch Eloise at Christmas Time if you haven't seen it yet. How do I describe it? It's a bundle of festive Christmas cheer and joy. It's about Eloise, who is a very smart, outgoing, witty little girl who lives at the Plaza Hotel with her nanny, Julie Andrews. And there's some sketchy stuff going on at this hotel, and Eloise decides that she is going to take it into her own hands to right the wrongs and fix Christmas, basically. And it's really festive. This might be the most festive-y Christmas movie on the list. And I can't not recommend White Christmas. You've probably already seen this, but if there's any chance that any of you who are watching have not seen it yet, give it a try, because I'm just being selfish. I want everybody to enjoy the beauty of that film. The music and the ending scene where the walls kind of open, it's snowing outside and they're singing in their outfits, their gowns. If you're not into black and white films, it is in color. It takes place at a lodge in Vermont. They sing a song entirely dedicated to how much they love snow. These performers are trying to help save the lodge, so they decide that they are going to perform there and get people to come up, and hopefully by doing so, the lodge can earn enough money and continue to stay open. I watch it multiple times every Christmas. Now let's move on to Christmas cookie recipes that I highly recommend trying out this year. First one is gingerbread cheesecake cookies. Do you just hear that and almost start salivating? Because I do. They're these really soft, kind of gooey gingerbread cookies wrapped around this ball of cheesecake so that when you pull it apart or bite into it, you get this gooey bit of cheesecake in the center. I highly recommend, if you do make them, eat them fresh, or you can store them in the fridge, but put them in the microwave for just a few seconds before you eat it so that the cheesecake is warm and gooey instead of cold and hard. I will link the recipe, all of the recipes, down below. If you like sugar cookies, but you kind of want to mix it up, you can try eggnog sugar cookies with an eggnog cream cheese frosting. I personally love eggnog. I know some people don't. If you're not an eggnog fan, this might not be for you. I like to add a little bit extra eggnog just to kind of amp up the flavor, and also a little bit extra cinnamon and nutmeg. I save the best for last, in my opinion. Why not take two very iconic Christmas dishes, cookies and hot chocolate, and combine them to make hot cocoa cookies. For the base of the cookie, you make regular cookie dough, but you add in a packet of hot cocoa mix. And then you wrap the dough around a giant marshmallow and bake it. And when they come out, you can pull it apart, and it's like hot cocoa in the form of a cookie. My sister had some of these and she said it reminded her of a Pop-Tart because of the ooey gooey middle and the chocolatey outside. Along with cookies, why not recommend a few of my favorite Christmas songs? The first one being Step Into Christmas by Elton John. You've probably heard this all over the radio. It's a classic. It's so good. If you haven't though, I would highly recommend checking it out. It's very upbeat and happy, and as a kid, whenever it came on the radio, it made me feel so good. But maybe a little lesser known song is called Christmas Is A-Comin' by Bing Crosby. This one kind of reminds me of, you know, in elementary school when the teachers would have the students perform like a Christmas concert for their parents. I don't know, this song reminds me of a song that you would sing in elementary school, but in a good way, in a very fun, cozy, nostalgic way. Christmas is a-comin' and the bells begin to ring. Da, 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 da. And he mentions Christmas cats and dogs in the song, so it's automatic, like it's so good. And then also, you've got to listen to Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, but not any version, the Ella Fitzgerald version. This is from The Holiday, when they're like dancing around together, and it's a really sweet scene. So every time I hear it, it always makes me think of The Holiday. This specific version is just very vintage, old-timey, but also like cozy. It's not sad, it's like a happy version of the song. I would love if you guys could recommend your favorite Christmas songs so that I can add them to my playlist. Christmas activities. A great activity you can do is to host a gingerbread decorating night with your friends or your family or your roommates or whoever, and make it a contest to see who can decorate the best house. Or you could even give awards for the most creative, or A for effort, or the most Christmassy. I love this next idea. You can make a Christmas cookie recipe from a foreign country, and while you're waiting for the cookies to bake, you could spend some time learning about how Christmas is celebrated in that country. This, I think, just stems from my love of research and learning about different cultures. So I love learning about how Germany celebrates Christmas because that's where my heritage is from. I think it's so fun. Learning is fun. And so I had to include that on the list. Christmas just gets better the more you learn about the way different people celebrate it, because then maybe you could implement some of those things into your Christmas celebration. The next activity is very easy, but it makes a big impact. And that is putting some hot cocoa in a thermos. Is that what it's called? It's called a thermos, right? I'm having one of those moments where you say the word, but it feels like the completely wrong word. Put it in a thermos and go for a walk in the snow. It seems so simple, right? It does. But when you get back from that walk and drinking that hot cocoa out in the cold, you're gonna feel so good. And you're gonna be so glad that you did it. And if there's no snow where you live, You could always just go on a walk outside and be in nature anyway, because nature is gonna make you feel good. Christmas is about feeling good. I know that seems cheesy, but it's true. This is something I really want. You can make cute hot cocoa toppers. I saw some photos on Instagram and on Pinterest of these really cute snowmen acting like it's a hot tub. It just makes the hot cocoa experience that much more fun, right? And then you can take pictures and send it to your friends and say, look at how cute these are. And it's just like, why not? Why not have fun with your hot cocoa and make it extra Christmassy? The next activity is to watch the Muppets Christmas Carol in your living room and then have a sleepover in the living room, whether that be with your kids, with your husband, with some girlfriends. You could make a little fort, get some popcorn and some Christmas chocolate and candies. You gotta make sure to wear festive Christmas pajamas though. That's a requirement for the sleepover portion. You can spend an evening lost in a festive coloring book while listening to soft Christmas music in the background. It doesn't even have to be Christmassy. You could even just draw and put on an ambiance video or some soft Christmas classical music in the background and just relax. Give your mind a break from constant stimulation. Another activity you can do is to make popcorn or orange garland. This is another thing that makes me feel like I'm one of the March sisters, or just back in the past when things were simpler, sitting by the fire making orange garland. It's a vibe. I love it. Another activity, if you like cooking or baking, is to try making a traditional British food or dessert from Christmas time, like figgy pudding or mince pies. I just think that would be such a good way to spend an evening during Christmas. And my last activity is one that I do every year, that I've done every year since I can remember as a kid. And that is to put on some good Christmas music. I'm talking the classics, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, Bruce Springsteen, I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas, and go on a drive and look at Christmas lights. I love this tradition. It's something that me and Jared still do. We've taken D'Artagnan, rolled on the window and let him look at all the lights. It's one of my favorite Christmas traditions. So those are all of the recommendations that I have for you. I hope that you got some sort of idea, a movie or a book or an activity that you want to remember to do to help you feel a little bit more festive. I know this time of year can be hard because there's these expectations. You need to be happy, you need to be doing all these things. And I think for me, once I removed that expectation of needing to do all these things and trying to schedule it out so that I do these things, it's more fun if I just kind of let it naturally happen. But it does help that I have a list of, oh, I'd like to do this. And then when I have some free time, I choose one of the things on my list and I'll do it, whether that be to start a new book or watch a movie that I've been meaning to watch or do a Christmas activity that I've been wanting to do. But kind of just remove those expectations that it needs to be a certain way, that Christmas needs to be a certain way. It is how you choose for it to be. I know it can be really hard when you're working a lot. I've had years where I worked on Christmas, where I worked all of Christmas break, but I think having my mindset just on, that's okay, that's how it's gonna be this year, makes it better, instead of, oh, I'm so mad that I don't get to have the Christmas like so-and-so does. And I know it's easier said than done, absolutely. But just choosing to be like, this is how it is, and I'm gonna do these things, and it's still gonna be fun, because it's Christmas. And no matter how that Christmas looks for you, it's still Christmas. And there's still that magic there, as long as you just try to allow it to be. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm gonna stop rambling and finish drinking my hot cocoa and go cuddle with my fur babies, but I hope you have a very festive Christmas season, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, friends. Oh, you're so far away. I'm saying highly recommend after every single thing, because I wouldn't be recommending it if I didn't highly recommend it in this video, because only the best of the best make it to this video. So I don't need to say highly recommend after everything. I'm just talking to myself. Okay, focus. No more talking to yourself. I'm still talking to myself. Okay. Then just having it, anyway, okay. I don't know what I'm saying. Continue. Another recipe if you are into cooking or baking, another idea, activity, recipe. Wait, what is it? Spend an evening lost in a festive coloring book while listening to soft Christmas music. Okay. Wait, what was it? What is wrong with my memory?
Desiree. I'm not fishing you out of the river. Oh wait, no, actually this is a good excuse for you to take a polar plunge. Desiree's an adrenaline junkie.